First one are the relationship with the United States. Second, but not less important, our relationship with the United States. And last but not least, our relationship with the United States. Dear General David Rodriguez, my dear Generals Aish and Virov, CEO of JINSA, distinguished officers and everyone is a really distinguished and welcome guest to our country. So I would first of all would like to welcome you to Israel. To welcome you to Jerusalem, the capital of Israel since 3,000 years ago. We deeply, deeply appreciate all that the JINSA is doing to advance the US-Israel security relationship. Israel has no better friend, as I mentioned before, and ally than the United States. Those are not words. This is something that is based on values and understanding and real friendship. The unbreakable bond between us is based on our Israeli democratic values and our shared security interests. Our military cooperation is so important, not only for the security of the State of Israel and the United States, but for the entire Middle East, and I may say so, to the entire Europe and to the entire free world. It is especially important as Iran continues to spread terror throughout the region and to take steps to advance its nuclear program. We strongly support President Trump's efforts to apply maximum pressure on Iran and his decision to target Hassan Soleimani. Soleimani was one of the architects of Iran's attempt to build a Shia terror corridor from the borders of Tehran, the eastern borders of Tehran, through Iraq, through Syria, next to the Golan Heights, going into Lebanon and coming also into Gaza, not to mention Yemen in the south. His elimination contributes to regional stability. As we continue to face the threats from Iran and its proxy today, including the terrorist organization in Gaza, we also look to the opportunities and challenges of the futures. What we have done in the last 72 years, without being too proud, we looked and we had a lot of challenges. And we looked at the challenges and we said to ourselves, well, we can be afraid, we can be worried, we can cry a little bit, we can really ask ourselves what to do, but instead of looking at it as a challenge, let's look at it as an opportunity. If, for example, we need an army, we have built an army since the last 72 years. If we need Air Force, we have a real Air Force, by all means. If we need industry, we have industry. If we need high-tech, we have high-tech. We took every challenge and put it into the understanding that we have to turn it from a challenge to an opportunity. We did very much like you have done in the last 300 years. The vision for peace, which President Trump presented last week, recognizes Israel's need to return security responsibility for all areas west of the Jordan River. Israel must always be able to defend itself by itself. Yet, while we never compromise over the security of our citizens, I believe that a vision of peace with our Palestinian neighbors is a realistic one. We can do it. They have only to understand that we have returned to our homeland, to our fatherland, to our promised land, because there is no other land for the Jewish people to build their own state. As a Jewish and democratic state, democratic and Jewish state. Not less Jewish and not less democratic. Not democratic only for the Jews, but democratic for all its citizens and for all the people who are living along with us. Israelis and Palestinians are not doomed to live together. It is our destiny. It is our destiny to live together once they will understand and once we could be able, they and we, to build confidence between the two people, maybe we can face better days. I hope that both sides will take this opportunity to restart a direct negotiation based on the program of President Trump. Friends, thank you again. Thank you again for all that you do for the United States, of course, for Israel, and thank you once again, and for the relationship between us, excellent relationship. And not only with the Pentagon and with the United States Army. Yes, we have very good friends also all over the United States. And it should be always bipartisan. Bipartisan. We love the American people, and we hope the American people will love the Israeli people without the need to say, well, what are my political thoughts? So once again, it is a real pleasure and a real honor to have all these fighters who are sitting with us and good people along with us here in Jerusalem. I wish you a successful and productive visit, and look forward to welcoming you back to Jerusalem whenever you will feel like coming to Jerusalem. I can assure you, all those who really worship God, that here in Jerusalem, to talk to God, you can use a local phone. You don't need long distance. You can save a lot of money. Welcome. Welcome, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency, Mr. President. Once again, good morning and welcome to the heart and soul of our nation, Jerusalem. I first and foremost would like to extend our thanks to His Excellency, Mr. President, Mr. Rivlin, for opening up your house and to welcome us, and to his military secretary, Brigadier General Abu Rukun, for his part in organizing this day. Mr. President, this delegation standing before you is composed of various officers which represent the various services of the U.S. Armed Forces. These officers have been sent here to further their understanding of the state of Israel and its people and their own IDF counterparts. All this, a part of an initiative led by the Jewish Institute for the National Security of America, JINSA, a Washington-based think tank. It is with great pleasure that I invite Dr. Michael Makovsky, CEO and President of JINSA organization, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here today, and I want to thank the terrific hospitality of President Rivlin for having us all, the organization, all the 30 U.S. soldiers here from the Navy, the Army, the Marines, the Air Force today. And it obviously really encapsulates very vividly how important the U.S.-Israel security relationship is. I also want to thank, obviously, General Virob, and I want to thank the International Division of the IDF, who've been really terrific I also want to thank General Rodriguez, who has joined us as a mentor, and my good friend General Yakovaish, who also happens to lead JINSA's operations here in Israel. I just wanted to thank again President Rivlin. I'm an American citizen, so I'm just speaking as an outsider, but I'm a Jew, and it's obvious that you've been a real moral voice here in Israel, domestically and internationally. You represent all of Israelis, as you said, Jew, Arab, and everyone here so well, and you've really been a tribute to Israel. And as a Jew in America, I know I appreciate it very much, and I think I speak for a lot of Jews across the world. So thank you very much for everything. I want to also say that we talk about the U.S.-Israel relationship, and we're going to be giving you, after this, American football. It was Super Bowl Sunday a couple of days ago, and I think the relationship, Israel is really, it happens to be Super Bowl Sunday, so we thought of the football, but also I think because Israel has really made it to the Super Bowl of alliances in the U.S.-Israel relationship. There's no more important game, there's no more important alliance in the world, I think, than the U.S.-Israel relationship, certainly for Israel. But I've also come around to thinking like your terrific ambassador, my good friend, Israel ambassador in Washington, Ron Dermer, says repeatedly, probably Israel is the most important alliance that the United States will have in the 21st century. And initially, I thought it was a bit of an exaggeration by an ambassador trying to make his case, but I think he's absolutely right. I think there's no more important relationship for the United States. And I say this because, and I echo what you said, Mr. President, that I thought President Trump's gutsy decision to eliminate Soleimani was a terrific thing. It was an advance for peace. It advanced U.S. interests for sure, and it was a blow to terror and Iranian hegemonic expansionism. But the U.S., as I think everyone knows, and I'm sure the U.S. soldiers here hear about, and they discuss it among themselves, we're trying to sort out our role in the world, and including in the Middle East. And despite that targeted killing of Soleimani on January 3rd, I think that we're still trying to figure out how much we really want to be in the Middle East. And I think as we might actually be reducing our presence here, it makes the U.S.-Israel relationship even more important, because not only do we share such values, the two countries, but Israel advances our interests so clearly here. And this is something that JINSA, this is our mission. We believe in a strong U.S. military. We believe the U.S. military, such as our soldiers here that are here today, are really not only advance U.S. security, but they're the best guarantors of Western civilization, of which I think Israel is so integral to, and actually one of the founders of. And I think that, and we believe a strong U.S.-Israel security relationship is important for the United States. And therefore, one of the things, not only do we do education programs like this, bring active U.S. military officers here, bring retired generals and admirals here, just like we did with General Rodriguez first a couple of years ago, bring IDF officers, such as under General Virub's command, to Washington to understand American foreign policy. But we also, as was stated, we're a think tank, and we try to educate and propose policy ideas. And one of the most important things we're working on now is how to bolster the U.S.-Israel security relationship. And we've basically identified two main ways. One, we believe that there should be a mutual defense pact between the two countries. We're happy to see that the President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu have already discussed this issue. We think this would not only bolster Israeli deterrence, but be a contributor to stability in the region and of our interests, just like it is with the other 50 countries that the United States has mutual defense pacts with. Secondly, we think it's important, as much as possible, just as it has done since 1948, that Israel defends itself by itself, that it doesn't have to rely on a pact. And therefore, we think it's important that the United States give all the tools that are necessary to Israel, all the military tools, to accelerate delivery of weapons that was under the 10-year MOU that was proposed under President Obama, that has bipartisan support in the United States. And as I agree with you, Mr. President, bipartisanship is very important in the support of Israel. But we think it's important that Israel get all the tools it needs so it could defend itself by itself, because as Israel defends itself by itself, as it continues its campaign of not just containing Iran, but rolling back Iranian presence in Syria and elsewhere, it is advancing U.S. interests. So those are two issues that we're working on in the United States. And I just want to thank you again very much. We want to extend an invitation to you when you're in Washington next or anywhere else. We love to host you in Washington. And we want to thank you again very much for meeting with really some of the finest soldiers we have, and just to boosting the two ties. So thank you very much for having us, and have a good day.